Hi everyone. Um I'm a hot mess tonight. Thought I had it all set up, or was ready to go, and nothing was going right. So anyway, my name is Tammy Joya, and I'm an advocate for kids with special needs, and I always have technical difficulties. I thought I had it right, but I wasn't. But anyway, um, tonight we're going to talk about how you guys can get your records from the school district. And how and what the school district is mandated to do under federal regulations. And I'm not talking FERPA regulations. And I'll explain what FERPA is. I'm talking about IDEA. I don't use FERPA regulations because in the past I have used FERPA, but when filing complaints with those people or letting them know what's going on, it takes forever for them to even acknowledge that I'm having a problem. So I said, well, the hell with it. I'm just not going to do it. I'll just use IDEA. It's way better. But anyway, that's what we're going to discuss today because one of my viewers requested this topic, and I hope she's here. And if she's not, Wendy, I hope you get this information as fast as you can. Okay. And if you have any questions after this, please feel free to and ask me questions below in the description on the YouTube part, and just ask me any questions that you want. After this show is over, you can even ask me right now. That's why I'm doing the live. And I would appreciate it if you would all, hit that notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and please make a comment. What my goal is to drive up my membership so that YouTube can pay me to do this, and then I can help you guys even more monetarily. But until I can do that, this is the way we're going to do it from now on. Okay. So I'm going to do as best I can. I'm trying to get out as many videos as I possibly can, at least once a week, so that you guys can have, some kind of routine with me. Okay. So anyway, so back to the show, where somebody asked me a question last week that had to do with, what do you call it? That had to do with evidence-based, scientifically researched, evidence-based instruction. Okay. And I said I couldn't remember where it was, and I had a little help, and I got the answer to that question. So now I'm going to show you what it is. It was in the most unlikely spot on this, and I'm like, I don't understand why they do this to me. It must be just to, drive me nuts and cuckoo and crazy and all of that. So here it is right here. See where it says this? So let me show you what this is. Under IDEA has enforcement powers. Okay. And what that means is, so let's say the state and the school districts, they keep screwing up and they keep becoming non-compliant under the same regulations over and over and over again. So what will happen is, year after year, the same things. What will happen is OSEP will be like, hey, you got 2 seconds to figure this out. So what they do is they kick in enforcement. Now, you can even see this on OSEP's webpage. They have reports on what the school districts or what the state has done with respect to implementing IDEA. It's a report that comes out. I believe it's every year. I'm not entirely sure, but I can get that information to you on any state. Every single state has to go through this. So if they say, right here, if the secretary determines for 2 consecutive years that a state needs assistance under 603 in implementing the requirements of Part B of the Act of IDEA, the secretary takes one or more of the following actions, advises the state, and then they just go into and say everything, okay? So now, it says here, the federal technical assistance providers approved by the secretary and other federally funded nonprofit agencies, and requires a state to work with appropriate entities. Such technical assistance may include assistance in identifying and implementing professional development, instructional strategies, and methods of instructions that are based on scientifically based research. Okay. So when a school district is coming up with some, cockamamie program for your kid, okay, and it doesn't meet that criteria, and it's not even the state has to have um when they develop their curriculum, like in Massachusetts, it's called the curriculum framework. Even when they develop that, it has to be scientifically based, and it has to be scientifically based on scientifically based research. Okay. They can't just make it up out of the clear blue sky. Okay. They can't say, oh, we're going to do this today, and then tomorrow we're going to teach you a little bit of this, and we're just going to use the paraprofessional to give you all of it. No, they can't do none of that. Okay. Everything the school has to do, there's a manner in which there are procedures that the school district must follow in order to prevent that, to prevent this right here, to prevent OSEP from doing this, issuing enforcement orders on them. Okay, so they do it for needs assistance, like I said, they do it for needs intervention, and as you go down the pike, as you go down the list, it gets more and more intensive as to what OSEP can do. So just so you guys know, OSEP, I talk some stuff about OSEP too. Homeschool mom of one. Hey, you doing, girl? So anyway, thanks for finding me. I don't know what happens to me sometimes. I'm cuckoo. I always have technical difficulties. I had it all set up and just collapsed. But anyway, I'm back. And thank you for coming so much. I really appreciate it. So anyway, as you go down the list, it tells you everything that they're supposed to do. Okay. This is when they fail to meet the federal standards. Here's one that says need substantial intervention. This is like, let me tell you what this is like. Okay. This is like when you file a complaint against the school district and the state comes back with corrective action against the school district. That's what this is. This is corrective action. So the feds come in and they do their evaluation on the state, okay, and says they look at all of that. They look at IEPs, they look at the numbers, because every year the school districts have to provide the state with information on the numbers of kids with disabilities, on the types of disabilities, the gender of the students. I mean, it's a whole thing. Okay. This is not willy-nilly. I mean, in Massachusetts, we're talking $643 million. $643 million for special education. Okay. So this right here, the need substantial intervention, that's bad for the state. This means, okay, eventually, if they don't straighten out their act, it could come to the point where, here it is right here. Let me show you. This is fun. Okay. Remember I just said about the state, and the state and you doing a complaint. And sometimes when I do a complaint, the state comes back and tells the school district, hey, you don't fix this right now and give this kid what we're telling you to give him, we'll withhold your Part B funds. Well, guess what? It's the same thing for the feds. Here it is. It recovers funds under this, okay? Withholds in whole or in part any further payments to the state under Part B. So they can actually withhold the grant money in whole or in part. That's the same thing the state can do to the school district. Okay. So this is just to let you know what actions the feds do. And what you have to do is every school, every state has an evaluation done on them by the feds. Every year. I think it's every year. I'm not sure. I think it's the same way that the state does it on the school district. I think it's like every 3 years, and then after that it's every 6 years, to see if they complied with what they found. So if there are any non-compliance issues, and that's why it says in 2 consecutive years. Okay, it says if the secretary determines for 2 consecutive years that a state needs assistance under 603. Let me see what 603 is. Just nosy and curious. Okay, this is interesting. I never saw this. I probably did, but I don't know. But I've been doing it for 30 years, so I don't know. I either never saw it or this, but this is cool. So this is what the state, review. The secretary annually reviews the state's performance. I was right. There's my answer. Okay. So they do this annually. The state's performance report submitted to the feds. So every year the state has to submit a report in order to get the federal funds. Okay. So the determination, they either meet the requirements of meet the requirements and proposes Part B funds of the act, needs assistance, needs intervention, needs substantial intervention. Notice and opportunity for a hearing. So if the feds come in and the feds say, we're all set with this nonsense, we're just gonna withhold funds. But if they come to that determination, then the same thing that the state does for us, as far as giving us opportunities for a hearing to see if what the feds actually came back and said is true or not, and should they pull all the funds, they actually get the same thing. They get a hearing. For decisions made under paragraph of this section, the secretary provides reasonable notice of an opportunity for a hearing on those determinations. So if they determine that the state continually needs any of that stuff, needs improvement, needs substantial intervention, then they have to send them notice for a hearing. The hearing described of this section consists of an opportunity to meet with the Assistant Secretary for Special Education and Rehab Services to demonstrate why the department should not make the determination described in this section. That's OSAP. That's OSAP. Okay? So I hope that answered your question about the school district being mandated to provide a child with evidence-based research curriculum, okay, instruction. So that answers that question. So now, let me see. And this is the state. Every state has regulations that also mimic or are aligned with the general public. And this is where Massachusetts is. See, it says, schools and the assistance to be provided by districts and the department to improve them. It identifies the circumstances under which a school may be declared underperforming and those under which a school or school district may be declared chronically underperforming, resulting in accountability and assistance in accordance with state laws. That's the same thing the feds have, but that's because of IDEA, okay? That's the Secretary of State, not the district, correct? It's the Secretary of the Feds. It's OSAP. Under Massachusetts, the Secretary of State it's not when you get to that level, you're talking state and the feds. Okay, here's what you guys have to remember. Everything matches. Feds with, okay, how do I do this? So this is how it works. You have state and local, okay? And then you have the feds, okay? The feds are the head honchos in charge. They hold the purse strings. So if the feds come back and tell the state, hey, you're underperforming and it's chronic, we're going to withhold your funds or we're going to take it all away. Here's your notice for a hearing to, put your bid in to say no. We're going to defend all of the things you did that we said you did. You're going to deny them. You can do whatever you want. Defend it. So it's the feds and the. So what the state would have to do is take that letter from the feds. Okay, from the feds. The state's already in trouble. There's nothing to do with the state. The state is now in trouble with the feds. When you talk about enforcement of IDEA, you're talking about the feds. Okay, that's how that all works. So just so you guys know, the state, there's been numerous times, hundreds of times in the last 30 plus years where states have either lost or came real close to losing the federal grants because they want to do everything their way. So no, it doesn't get that way. That's why I tell you guys all the time, filing complaints is your best weapon. It's cost effective, it's timely, and you can get the same answers from the from the state complaint process that you can get from a hearing officer. The difference is, this is the cool part. The part about withholding funds from a school district through an investigation because of the complaint you filed, that can only be done with a state complaint. A hearing officer doesn't have jurisdiction to withhold funds from an entire school district. They don't have that kind of power. They only have jurisdiction over your kid, okay? Whatever the issues are in front of them about a particular kid, that's what they have jurisdiction over, not all the other stuff, okay? Mess myself up. My tea's all cold. It's gross. Anyway, and now I have iced tea in a cup. Anyway, so that's how that all works. So, and what you guys don't understand is that, and it's sickening, the wheels of justice, they say, turn slowly. And in special education, I mean, it's at a snail's pace. It's really bad. And, we just have to keep chugging. We just have to make it bad for them too. If they're going to make us miserable, my goal is if I'm miserable, everybody's miserable. I'm making everybody miserable. I don't care. I just simply don't care. I want to make you uncomfortable. Okay. That's how I feel. That's a child you're messing with for no other reason because you're stupid. The only thing, if you're not incompetent, school, if you're, if you know what you're doing, but you're not doing your job, you're lazy. And you think because you work for the state, you can get away with it. I got a problem with that because you're getting paid to do absolutely nothing and you're getting paid with my tax dollars. I got a serious problem with that. You're not getting away with that. Not on my watch. Not while I'm breathing. You're not getting away with none of that. I will do my damnedest to make your life miserable because I don't care at all. You do not scare me. You do not impress me. I don't find you to be authoritative in any way. I have no respect for you people. I don't have any respect for them. How do you have respect for people who literally take candy right out of the mouth of the kid? Who does that? Hey, Meg girl. Who does that? Who rips a lollipop out of a kid's mouth just because? You got to be some kind of evil to do that kind of crap. And that's what they're doing to our kids. I don't care. They come with their big time lawyers and all of that nonsense. And they think that means something to somebody. Lawyers don't scare me at all. They just don't. The reason why there's so many lawyers, I'm going to tell you, I believe personally, the reason why there's so many lawyers that work for school districts is because they can't handle being in court all the time. It's way easier. Do you know how much money these lawyers get working for these schools? They get anywhere from $300 to $500 an hour plus. An hour. So when them fools come to a team meeting, oh, you want to come to a team meeting? Okay. I don't mind you coming to a team. This is going to be a 3-hour meeting. That's going to be $1,500. I don't care. Say something. You got one time to say something too. Meeting over, and then I report you. Because you're not supposed to talk. Lawyers, most of them, don't have any expertise in this field. And if they're going to be a team member, okay, cool. Just remember, I'm calling you as a witness. I don't care. I'm going to call you as a witness. And if the state says, I can't call you as a witness, and you're sitting at a team meeting with my client, 1, that's harassment. 2, that's intimidation. You have no skills regarding special education in this kid, and the law is clear about why they have to be there. And team resolution meetings, oh no, if you go to a hearing and you have a team resolution meeting, they can't go. It's illegal for them to go. And there are actual letters, trying to fix my hair. There's actual letters from OSAP, policy letters that actually say that it is discouraged, it is frowned upon for attorneys to go to team meetings. You know why? It's adversarial. Oh, really? It's adversarial? So game on then. So you just shoved me. You just shoved me. You shoved my client. So you want to be adversarial? Let's do this dance. I'm good because I am by nature adversarial. I am. I'm that person. Yes, that's why I need a POA for myself and a cop to get my kid. They're nuts. That's exactly what they do. This is what they do to us. And then they wonder why we're doing stuff. We're doing things that okay, guys, listen. You got to think out of the box. because that's what they want to put. They do it to me all the time. And I look at them like, you know, I don't work for you, right? No. I don't care what you think my job function is. My job function is what I say it is. You know why? I work for myself. There's a reason why I don't work for the public school system. I don't like you people. And I say stuff like that at meetings. I don't care. And anybody that knows me knows that's what I do. Because you got to cut them off at the pass. You got to get in front of everything. If they're going to act like they're all of that in a bag of chips, you got to let them know what time it is. You got to let them know you're not afraid. Because if they think they can intimidate you, they will. And they do it all the time. I know they do. And it's wrong. And it's not right. And it's just outright mean. You know, I mean, pick on somebody your own side. Really? You're not a very good attorney to me. If you're going to team meetings, are you kidding me with that nonsense? You go into a team meeting. Really? That's where your expertise is needed at a team meeting? That's because your client's no good. That's why. You better have your team. Good. Have them there. I type 80 words a minute. Go ahead. Let's do this. I don't need a tape recorder. I type 80 words a minute. Oh, and that's another thing. If you have a disability, you can tape record the team meetings. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. You have to tell them you have a disability. Okay, you're the mom and you have a disability, and it's fun. And just say you have a disability, you want to tape record the meeting, and if they want, you'll give them a copy. And it's real easy to tape record a meeting on Zoom. Well, it's supposed to be. I had a meeting yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out where the hell did the recording go. It's somewhere in something of mine, and I don't know where it is. So I got to go on my drive. Hopefully it's there. Maybe it's there, and I just didn't wait long enough for it to download. But anyway, yeah, it's real easy to do a download on Zoom. Unfortunately, these people that are supposed to be our educators, they don't even know how to use technology. They're educators. I don't understand. I'm going to be 64 years old, and it's not that hard. All you have to do is do a YouTube video and tells you how to do everything. Everything you need to know is on YouTube. How about Skillshare? You can also pay $10 a month and go find out about stuff on Skillshare. I'm not being sponsored by Skillshare, but I'm going to go find out what it's all about because everything you need to know is on Skillshare or YouTube. Bet. Okay? So, hi, you guys. I'm so glad you guys came here and joined me today. I know I screwed up a lot of stuff today. I don't know how I screwed it up, but I did. But anyway, if you're putting comments on my Facebook page, I don't see them. I'm seeing it over here. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I'm crazy. I told you I'm old. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about this little letter that I have for you guys. Okay, so one of my viewers last week asked me if I would do a topic on how to get records. Okay, not a problem. So what I did is this. So here is a letter that's going to be on my website. Oh, well, let me see if I can move her because she's getting on my nerves. How come you're not moving? That's stupid. Okay, let me see if I can do it. She can't move. Is that it? Stupid. Okay, she can't move. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. This is a letter that I developed so that I can just use it right away. And it goes. It's for anything. Okay, this highlighted part right here is actually for Massachusetts because I'm from Massachusetts. So that's what this was all about. However, you can just copy and paste what you want and put it in an email, and this is what you say to them. Okay, these are the laws. Pursuant to CFR 34 CFR 300 yada yada yada. Okay, up here. Okay, it says here that each participating agency must permit parents to inspect and review any educational records relating to their children that are collected, maintained, or used by the agency under this part. Okay, it says the agency must comply with a request without unnecessary delay. And before any meeting regarding an IEP or any hearing pursuant to 507, 530, 532, or before any resolution session pursuant to 510. I'm just citing this the end once, okay? And in no case more than 45 days after the request has been made. This is what I open with, okay? In my letter, in my request, this is what my letter opens with. So I got their attention. I cited the law, okay? Then I say, therefore, I am requesting the following documents that are within the specified timeline included in the request for my child's, well, I put students, I wasn't playing with it. I'll fix that. My child's or student records that are in the possession or custody of the district, no matter where the records are located. Because they like to do crazy stuff. And I'm going to show you how you can get them, because there's a whole bunch of laws just on that stuff I just read. Just on that one thing. There's a whole bunch of laws on this. In idea. Okay? So then in Massachusetts, because I like the way they worded stuff, so I said, pursuant to 603 CMR 2307, access of eligible students and parents. The eligible student or the parent, subject to the provision of that law, shall have access to the student's record. Access shall be provided as soon as practicable, and within 10 days. See, I told you guys, you got to go and look up your laws. But in Massachusetts, it's 10 days after the initial request. They only have 10 days. And in Massachusetts, it's 10 school working days. It's not weekends. And it doesn't, if the kids aren't in school, you can't count those days. Okay? Where is it? Upon initial request, except in the case of a non-custodial parent as a prior. Upon request for access, listen to this, the entire student record, regardless of the physical location of its parts, shall be made available. Because what these schools like to do is say, oh, you didn't say where, you didn't tell me where the records are. Why would you know where your kids' records are in their school? Why would you know that? And I'm getting mad because that was actually said to me. And that's exactly what my response was. Have you lost your mind? Why do I know where you put my clients' records? In your school. Wherever those records are, I want them. Go find them. Go find them now. Quickly. Chop, chop. So then I say, I am writing to request the above-mentioned student records, because you're going to put your kid's name at the beginning of the letter. The records are to include, but are not limited to, the following. Then I list all of the records. Anything I could think of that could have been generated by this school for your kid is in this list. Any and all IEPs in the last 6 years. See, I got a timeline going on here, okay? Any and all IEP and corresponding IEP quarterly progress reports. Any and all evaluations and assessments in the last 3 years. Any and all discipline records in the last 3 years. Any and all attendance records in the last 3 years. So I just keep doing it. Just keep going down the line. Anything that you can think of. Correspondence. Emails to and from the teachers and the parent in the last 3 years. Prior written notices. Okay. Determinations of eligibility forms. That was part of your kid's IEP. What's the other one? Team meeting invitations. And the team meeting notes in the last 3 years. This is how you do it, okay? This is how you get real specific. So then at the bottom it says, this request includes records in all locations, including but not limited to administration and teachers' school computers. My child receives free and reduced lunch, and therefore there is no fee for my records pursuant to state and federal law, which is actually true across the states, across the United States. I just found out in Massachusetts, everybody gets free lunch. That's wonderful. Go eat your records. Okay? So now, that's the letter, and I'm going to make that letter available to all of you, okay? It's going to be on my website, and I will tell you, here it is right here. Need SPED answers. Whoops. Okay. That's the website. Okay. Why did it do like that? Okay. I don't understand. Need. Why is it? I don't understand. That's weird. Usually it comes up with the little girl. Let me go see what's going on. Hold on, guys. Let me see. My website. Oh, that's it. needsbedanswers.com. So, copy. And, okay. I don't know why it's not coming up the way I want it to, but hey. Okay. I did it 3 times like a crazy person. So anyway, there it is. Okay. So just click on that, and that's where this document will be. Okay. Now, let's go to the laws. Love the laws. Let's go find out what they're doing right about now. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this now. Okay. So what was that? Okay. This is, remember I told you guys last week, this is where the federal IDEA regulations live, right here. This is how you find stuff, okay? So you guys are going to see this a lot, so you'll learn how to do it, and I can put links in here so you guys can find it. So what is that? Oh, it was 6. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Let me see. I have it on here somewhere. Okay, give me a minute, guys. I got to find this. There's a whole section on... Okay, guys, give me a minute. I don't know why I put it. What am I looking at? Okay, now I have to remember what I'm doing. Okay, so records request. Oh, 613. That's what it is. Whew. Gee, the brain is just not there anymore. I'm all set with the nonsense. Okay, so I want 613. Let me see. That's 1. So here I'll go. Here. 34 CFR 300.61. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So that's just 1. So I want all of them. All right. See that, guys? These are all of the regulations that speak to your rights to get your kids' records. This is them, okay? So this talks to confidentiality. Let's look at it. Let's see what it says. Last week, somebody asked me, somebody told me that the school district said they are releasing only the public records regarding the student. I was like, what? They said, what? I said, you can't do that. That's illegal. You can't, no. You can't, oh, that's the one I want right there. You can't do that. That's illegal. And so I was like, that's not true. Okay, see this right here? This law, confidentiality, okay, is what anything that I'm showing here, these ding-dongs at the school have to implement. This is not up for negotiation. It's not up for interpretation. They got to do it. Period. If they don't do this, if a school district releases anything with your kid's name on it, 1, without your consent, and 2, by somehow naming it a public record, that's a major violation. You see what it says here? This GEPA law right here, 610. 610 says, the secretary takes appropriate action in accordance with 444 of GEPA to ensure the protection of the confidentiality of any personally identifiable data, information, and records collected or maintained by the secretary and by SEAs, that's the state education agency, and LEAs, that's the local education agency, aka the school district, pursuant to Part B of the Act, consistent with 611, which we're about to go look at. Ta-da. Okay, number 1. So here's my other one. The school district can't destroy your records. Last week, everybody was asking me about the timeline, when they can get rid of records. And I told you it's 7 years after your kid leaves school. That's what it says. So here it is right here. So the destruction. This is what they have to do to let you know what they're about to do with your kids' records. Destruction means physical destruction or removal of personal identifiers from information so that the information is no longer personally identifiable. Okay? They have to redact information before they release it to people. Okay? They have to redact it. Educational records means the type of records covered under the definition of education records under FERPA, which is 34 CFR Part 99. The regulations implementing the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. So the definition of education records is, how do I say it, is being adopted by idea from another agency, okay? And they do that a lot. Participating agency means any agency or institution that collects, maintains, or uses personally identifiable information, okay, or from which information is obtained under the Act, okay? So this is the definition of what these things mean, okay? So now let's go back to here again. I'm showing you guys this so you can understand what the school district has to do. They don't get to do whatever they want. There are laws. Okay, let me tell you guys this. There are laws that make it so that they have to follow procedures. And the procedures are step-by-step instructions that are listed in the idea. Okay? That's where they're at. That's where they're at. Okay, so here's the notice to the parents. Notice to parents. The SEA, which is the Department of Education, must give notice that is adequate and fully informs the parent about the requirements of 30123, including a description of the extent that the notice is given in native languages. So if your native language is not English, everything they give you has to be in your native language. That also came up in a case this year, just recently. I know they have to have an interpreter sitting at a team meeting. If your native language is not English, I don't care what language you speak. They got to get an interpreter at that meeting. Period. The IEPs, notices, they have to be put in your native language. Otherwise, how are you going to assign it? How are you going to make an educated decision? How are you going to know that this stuff is what your kid needs? How are you going to know that? How? Hi, Barbara. How are you going to know that? Unless it's in your language. Everywhere in IDEA it talks about native language. Okay? A description of the children on whom personally identifiable information is maintained. So this right here is all about the notices that they have to give you, okay? Before any major identification location, the notice must be published or announced in newspapers. So this is, SEA has to give adequate notice to fully inform parents about the requirements. What is 123? Let me go see what 123 is. Oh. The state must have policies and procedures in effect to ensure that public agencies in the state comply with 610, which we just looked at, and 626, which we will, related to protecting the confidentiality of any personally identifiable information collected user. That's the notice. That's what the notice has to say. Okay? That's what they're referring to. So you get a notice, and it has to say. So this is why they can't give out your kids' records. Okay? Let me tell you, because your kid's IEP has your kid's name on it, has your kid's address on it, has your kid's age on it. It has a school ID number on it that it's like a social security number for your kid, only for the school district. So that's called personally identifiable information. So They can't release your kid's documentation to anybody. They can't release it without your consent, and they can't release it to anybody unless the stuff is redacted. Again, the only people they can release it to is the police or law enforcement. Okay? That's the only people they can release it without consent and without a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? But if something's going on with law enforcement, you need to go talk to an attorney. Okay? Don't take my word for it. Go talk to an attorney and find out what your rights are. Okay? But it's my understanding they have to cooperate with the police. Okay? So anyway, that's what 612 is. I'm showing you all of this. These are all the laws regarding student records. It's all about student records. Every last bit of it. Okay? So here's 613. This is my favorite one. This is the one I use all the time. Instead of going to FERPA, I use this regulation. Okay? This is the one I use. This regulation, access to records. This is everything you need to get the records from the school district. This here, right here. Okay, this is what's in the paragraph in my letter. This right here. Each participating agency must permit parents to inspect, review any education records related to their children that are collected, maintained, or used by the agency. That's everything with your kid's name on it. If it's got your kid's name on it, you can have it. If it's an email between two teachers or the teacher and the SPED or the teacher and the SPED and the school superintendent, you can have it because it's got your kid's name on it. And remember, the E in email stands for evidence. Okay? So let's go down here. See, this is what I'm talking about. These laws are not that big, guys. They're not that big. Okay, so you get to review, you have the right to inspect and review education records under this section. The right to a response from the participating agency to reasonably request for explanations and interpretations of the records. So if you don't know what these records mean, you have a right to ask them what those records mean. And they have to give you, they have to respond to you. They don't get to just sit there and pretend that you didn't answer them. But you know what? Make sure you put everything in writing because this is a law they violated and you could prove. You asked for the information and they didn't do anything. When they don't respond to your emails, that's evidence. Understand? It's evidence. The right to request that the agency, here it is right here. The right to request that the agency provide copies of the records containing the information if failure to provide those copies would effectively prevent the parent from exercising their right to inspect and review the records. Because the records could be humongous. You might, if the only place you can go and look at those records is in the school office, then that's not fair to you. You want copies that's got your kid's name on it, you can have copies. That's the law that says you can. That's why they give them to you. Yes. And you have the right to have a representative of the parent inspect and review the records. That'd be me. Okay? So if the parent gave me permission to review those records, then they have to give it to me too. Okay? But when that happens, the parent has to give consent for the school district to release those records to me. The other thing is, if you have an advocate or an attorney, if the school district sends, if the school district sends the records, I'm sorry guys, I'm playing all my stuff. I don't understand what's going on. If the school district, if you tell the school district you have an advocate or you have an attorney and you want them to send the records to them, one of those people, what they'll do is, because they're no good, they will charge for the papers. They'll charge, I don't know how much it is, but they'll charge. They can only charge for copying, and it can only be at the rate that's already, like, people are already charging for copies, like at Staples or something. Okay, they can't charge, $3 for a copy of a piece of paper. They can't do that. It's illegal. So anyway, hi, Wendy. This is all about you, girl. It's okay. No, you're not late. Okay, so they don't get to do none of the crap that they like to tell you people. They don't. Okay. An agency may presume that the parent has authority to inspect and review records relating to his or her child unless the agency has been advised that the parent does not have that authority under applicable state law governing such matters as guardianship, separation, or divorce. Okay. Well, okay. So, they have to presume that you have all of this. Okay. I don't know if I'm going in and out. It's irritating me. Okay. So they have to just assume, or in my case, they refuse to even talk to you unless you are my POA. Yeah, they can't. I told you they can't do that in your case. These are the laws to say that, you know what, Diane, me and you. Okay. Because no, when they do that, it's a violation. And in your state, they're crazy in Utah. They're just, I have to say it. They are. I mean, I don't even understand how they think. The things that happen in this particular case, we actually got the state to say that these people, they did so many things wrong. They denied FAPE to this kid to the 10th power, didn't even provide her. They owed her so many compensatory hours. It's disgusting. And so the state came back and told them in an investigation that if they don't comply, they're going to take away their money, which was unbelievable. And they're still a little salty about it. Nobody cares because they were talking all kind of smack. And then they got smacked down by you because they're stupid. I don't like dumb people. I don't like dumb people. I don't like talking to people who say, oh, we're the school district. Honey, when you say you're the school district, I'm coming to the table with expectations that you can follow the conversation, that you're familiar with your obligations under the law. And what I find out is not so much. So either that, you're either stupid or incompetent, or you're lazy. Therefore, I have no respect for you at all. So I'm not going to be nice, but I'm also not going to argue with your silly butt either. What I'm going to do is file and see what the state says. And when the state does some cockamamie crap where they think, oh no, we're just going to let them slide, then I file against the state, which I did this year. And guess what happened? The state had to hire, if I'm not mistaken, it was here, but I'm not sure, in Massachusetts. The state had to hire an outsider to come in and do the investigation. And guess what? It was Massachusetts. The outside investigator found out that the state Department of Education, the people who were doing the investigation, yeah, they were in violation. So everybody had to go get trained. Yeah. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Do you know? I'll be posting that shortly on my website. So when I do stuff, I access everything. And you know what? There's a lot of people that don't work like me. A lot of people think within the school district's parameters of what the advocate's job is. Bite me. I don't work for you. And I don't care what you think of me, because my mama told me it ain't none of my business what you think about me, unless you want me to tell you what I think about you in front of your peers and your subordinates. Do you want me to do that? School district? Is that what you want me to do? I don't care nothing about the political correctness. For me is gone. When they started doing the cray stuff that they're doing to kids nowadays, I mean, it's beyond comprehension. This year, in 2022, we found out in Massachusetts that the director of due process hearings in Massachusetts, her name is Reese Ehrlichman, we got documentation of 62 pages of text messages to her and hearing officers from a law firm that has almost half of the school district that they're representing in the state of Massachusetts, just about cases that were still open. One of those cases was mine. I'm about to file against them. There was some things I was waiting for, and I got them. I'm not done. You have to think outside of the box with these people. You have to do your due diligence. You have to know what you're saying. You got to line up your ducks. You got to have the facts. You got to have the evidence, and you have to have the law. If you don't have those things, don't do crap until you line up everything, because you're going to look like an idiot. And you people are not stupid. You're not idiots. What it is they prey on you, okay? You guys are like my guinea pigs, okay? You're like my guinea pigs. Yes. Are the attorneys in Braintree? Actually, I think they're in Quincy. Crown Plaza or something. It's the big one. You know who they are. You know who they are. But they're about to get served. I like doing it. And you see, like before when I was an advocate, before back in the day, yes, honey, Mossy, that's yes, here. And when I do what I got to do, I'm gonna let everybody know. But anyway, what you have to do is you have to think outside of the box. You cannot let these people, pinpoint you. I am gonna go get them, girl. You can't let these people tell you what to do. You have to stand up to them. Remember, like when you were a kid and your mother said, just stand up to the bully? It's still happening, girl. You got to stand up to the bully. You can't be afraid. Let me tell you something. Some of these attorneys are not the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree. The other reason why, then again, I'll take Quincy back over here. I'm telling you, girl, when are you moving? Get out of that cray town. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful state. It really is. The mountains, but it's like something's bouncing off the mountains and going into the brains of some of them people in that state of yours. You got to go before you start ending up like them. Just saying. Anyway, you guys can't let them browbeat you and make you feel small. And the more you start to figure this stuff out, because it's going to take you a minute. And there are some of you out there that have little kids, or you have many kids, 3, 4 kids, and they all have disabilities. This is an ongoing problem for you. And so if you start learning how to do this now, you'll be golden. You will be golden, I'm telling you. These people violate the laws so much. I cite the regulations at team meetings. That's a violation of 34 CFR 300.503. And I never use the state laws. Never, ever, ever. You know why? In Massachusetts, the SPED law book, the regulations, 25 pages. Mm-hmm. There's 307 pages. Excuse me. There's 307 pages of IDEA regulations. So there's a lot of information that's not in the SPED law book in Massachusetts. So I don't use it. And now there are some states, like in Utah, where the SPED director told me, well, we use the state law. And so I went on and I looked it up and I said, dude, you do realize that your state adopted all of the IDEA regulations? Your regulations are the federal regulations. Have you ever seen them? I mean, literally, they were the same numbers and everything. Because he's stupid. I'm telling you, these people are not the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree. Just because they're teachers and they're psychologists and they're lawyers does not mean they're smart. It doesn't. You know what it means? It means they took the time out of their busy day to go to school, to pay a lot of money to get an education, to stand in front of you and rely on the fact that they have a degree, but they don't use any of their skills that they learned in college to do this, because that takes work. That takes work. So they don't do it. So I'm telling you, go in there like they're Joe Schmo down the street. Do not give them any creds because they're the school district. Don't do that. You talk to them just like you would talk to me on the phone. That's how you talk to them. Like they're just average people. Don't give them any more respect than you would give yourself or your friends or whatever. Just because they have a title doesn't mean anything. Anybody can have a title. I just looked at an IEP and it said behaviorist. But above it, it said BCBA. So I asked the mother, or it said behavior specialist, behavior analyst, or something like that. So I said, wait a minute. If that's the behavior analyst, then what's the behaviorist? She said, I don't know. We're going to find out because I don't think they know. Don't think they know. They're stupid. They put a bunch of stuff on a piece of paper and they're like, we're done. They just shoo you guys out of the building. They're done. I'm done. We're done talking. Okay. And federal trumps state every single time. Yes, it does. I still haven't received. Yeah, honey, you got to count from the day. You got to count. Okay, like I just said, you have to count from the day we had it. And I think we had Rachel's meeting just before school vacation. So once school vacation stopped, so did the timeline. So if it was only 1 or 2 days before, they got 10 days to get it to you. Okay. So just send an email over to Ding-a-ling and say, I just wanted to know what the status is on the IEP. That's all you have to do. Don't be afraid to ask these people where your shit is. Don't be afraid. Just ask them. What's the ETA on this? I do it all the time. It's not like you're killing somebody by asking them what's the ETA. The law says they got 10 days. The law doesn't mandate that they take all of the 10 days. There's no law that says they have to suck up all of the 10 days. If they got it done before the 10th day, they can give it to you. But they're crazy. It means something to them. And I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have not figured out this whole authority, push-pull, power struggle crap that these people are doing. I can't figure it out. The only thing I can think of is that they are little people. They're just in mind, in heart, in soul. They're just very small-minded, narrow-minded people who I believe the only time they have any power and authority is when they're at the school, because they don't have it in real life. Nobody listens to them. That's got to be the answer, because I can't even imagine being these people sometimes. I can't. I don't understand why they would do the stuff that they do just because you can. That means you're evil. I'm not in a good mood. I am not. I hate people. I hate them. I just don't like state agencies. It's like pulling teeth to get everything. I mean, it's like you got to be a detective and I got to talk to this man. You wouldn't believe it today, for instance. So we're trying to get some information from the Massachusetts. So I want to know, I looked at an IEP and it said there was a checkbox where the goal is, and it said standard NA. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? The only thing I can think it means is the standard for the curriculum frameworks, which is mandated under law that students on IEPs have to meet the criteria too. They take MCAS and the curriculum framework, which is a state test in Massachusetts, go hand in hand. So I called the guy. The guy called me today. He was from MCAS, because the woman apparently that I contacted, she didn't understand the words coming out of my mouth, because when I said I wanted to talk to somebody regarding the curriculum frameworks, she gives me MCAS guy, which is testing. And then he gets on the phone and I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I don't want to know about MCAS. I want to know about the curriculum frameworks. Is there a department? Because he's talking. While I'm talking, I'm like, are you done? He said, yes. I said, I don't want MCAS. I want the people in the department at that state that talk about the curriculum. Isn't there a department that does that? He said, first he said no. And I said, what? No. Then who's? No. Then he came back and he said, oh, yes. Here it is right here for literacy, for this, and this. I said, oh, okay, good. So I got the telephone number, and I think I called him and left a message. I can't remember. Now I can't remember. But anyway, what did I do with that? I wrote it in my book. But anyway, he didn't know what I was talking about because the chick that I called, because when I called it, it said curriculum frameworks. But the people, she said, oh, you want to talk to Mr. Pella? No, I didn't want to talk to him. Even the people at the Department of Education don't know what they're doing in their department. And they don't know where anybody is. They just don't. And it's because it's huge. It's huge. The Department of Education is huge. This is what I'm talking about, guys. That's our tax dollars in those buildings. Okay? Every single one of those people getting paid are tax dollars. And they expect that they don't have to do their job. It's irritating. We're paying them to sit up there and do nothing. I hate that. I don't know about you guys, but it goes up me sideways. And it shows when I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know their ass from their elbow. I can't. I can't bite my tongue, and it is what it is. And so that's why when I'm running my mouth, because I got a lot to say, I got my facts and my laws and my evidence to prove everything I just said. What you got? I'm waiting. Nothing, just like I thought. So I'm right and you're wrong. And the only thing, very rarely do I call people on the phone. I called them because I needed the only reason why I called this guy is to get the telephone number of the person, because now what I want to do is put some shit in writing. Okay. I put everything in writing because what Tammy wants is facts. Tammy wants evidence. Tammy wants the law because there's something hinky going on with that kid's IEP. Real hinky. I mean, it's enough to make you go cross-eyed for real. I'm not kidding. So anyway, so when I talk to you guys about the laws, I'm not kidding. You can beat them with the laws. They don't like it either. I'm telling you right off the rip. They don't like it when you cite regs. Nobody cares what they like. Nobody. And if you have to, you tell them you're an advocate. Bite me. Okay? Because for nothing, you guys are advocates. If you're fighting for your kid, you're an advocate. Do you understand me? You're an advocate. So that means smoking weed or having cray pills. Yes, exactly, Barbara. I can't even sometimes. I just can't. So yeah, so let's get over here. So I did the access records, right? So now let's look at this one. Okay. This is the one. Wait. That's one. You don't want this one. This is one of my favorites too. Check this out. I forgot about this one. So I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but I have. I've asked for records. So I just tell them I want all the records, give the kid's name on it. So then the dumb idiots come back and say, well, they give me some records. I'm like, there's no discipline. There's no discipline records. There's no report cards. There's no progress reports. And then they say, well, you didn't ask for that. I don't have to ask for that. On the other hand, you have to give me this information. This is the law that says they have to give you the information. Look what it says. List of types and locations of information. Look what it says. Each participating agency must provide parents on request a list of the types and locations of educational records collected, maintained, or used by the agency. I'm putting that law in that letter too. See what I'm talking about? It's not our job to implement the laws. It's theirs. These are instructions. Do you understand what I just read? I just read an instruction to the school district. That's an instruction. When it starts off saying each participating agency must provide the parents, that's an instruction. Those are steps that they have to do. Now, when they don't do that, that's a violation. Especially when they come back and say, you didn't tell us where the records were. You lost your mind. Why would I know where you put my client's records? Why would I know that? Why? Why would I know where they could possibly be? Why? No, that's not my job. That's your job to tell me. Good. So now this is what you do. What I would do is first you guys ask them for the list. I'm going to put this law in the letter. Okay? And you say to the school district, I want to know where all my kids' records are. According to this law, this is what you're supposed. It's 2 sentences. It's not even a 2 full. It's 1.5 sentence. What are they going to say? They didn't know? I don't care. And that's another thing, guys. Nobody cares if these people don't know the law. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance gets you in a lot of trouble because your job is to know. I just found something that's so friggin' okay. Wait till you see this. You guys are going to die. You're going to die. Just going to die. Going to die. Wait till I show you guys this. Where'd it go? I just hate my life. Okay, wait. Is that it? Okay. Let me tell you how dumb these people are, okay? This right here, a parent gave me this. She told me it happened, but she couldn't remember the thing. But she was going to get it for me. But anyway, I got too excited, so I went and got it. Okay. See what it says? Special ed law. Okay. This is a hearing. This is a hearing that took place in Massachusetts. And here's the case law right here. 2200-773. That was this year. That was February, as a matter of fact. Okay. So it says this hearing was held, yada, yada. This is the important part. I want you to see way down on the bottom where it says order. Let's go down. Let's keep going to it. Order. I wonder why Tammy thinks this is such a good thing. Okay, so let's read what it says. Finally. Okay. So the hearing officer wrote all of this stuff up, right? So the parent actually lost. The kid is going to stay in the program, but the parent wanted the kid to go to residential, and the school argued the one the kid is in as a day program is fine. Okay, good. But the last thing she said was priceless. This happened on January 28, 2021. That's when this was done. The hearing officer says, and I quote, finally, as noted above, I have not made any findings pertaining to alleged procedural irregularities in the team process since procedural issues were not raised. Only reason why she didn't find them, because it wasn't in front of her. That was a mistake. It should have been put. When I do hearings, I throw everything in the kitchen sink in my hearings. Everything. And then if I forgot stuff, I file an amendment. That's what I do. Okay. But then she goes on to say, however, the record, including Ms. Ecker's own testimony. Now, Ms. Ecker, yeah, she's the special ed director for this town, and the town is Westfield. Including Ms. Ecker's own testimony, demonstrates that training specifically pertaining to the ideas team and placement process is warranted. Wait for it. Westfield shall provide Ms. Ecker and other relevant staff with training and idea procedures pertaining to the team and placement process. That is priceless. That's against a SPED director and her loose testimony. I wasn't at that hearing, but for a hearing officer to say that about the SPED director, that's all kind of bad. All kind of bad. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's really bad. It's bad. Oh, and let's go up here again. Let's see who the attorney was for the school district. Let me see, scroll down. This was an advocate that brought this case to hearing for the parent. And let's go down and let's go down. Looky there. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So from the people in Massachusetts, I think a lot of you might know that attorney and the law firm from which she hails. Yeah. Isn't that priceless? I freaking love that. I found that and I was like, I got to show my peeps. So I say that because they don't always get off scot-free. Okay, they don't. The SPED directors in particular. Because any parent that lives in that school district can take that and use it to file against the hearing office, against the SPED director, because clearly, they can attest, they can say that she wasn't trained. That was never implemented. That's a problem for the state. That's a problem for the school district. That's a problem for Miss Eckers. Love it when a plan comes together. Amanda, girl, how you been? I miss you so much. How do these people live with themselves, knowing that they are breaking the law after going to college, after taking ethics class? I know. Unbelievable. Exactly. They're nuts. And that's the only thing that makes sense. I'm sorry, guys, but, I call it like I see it. They're crazy and they're nuts because it's unnecessary. It's just a whole lot of money going on. They would rather pay their attorneys than get the kid the services they need, which would be a lot less, because if you're getting your attorney in at $300 to $500 an hour, and that you have to you call them in for everything that has to do with what you're doing that's illegal, that the parents are alleging you're doing. You call them in for everything. Every single time the school district calls in their attorneys to go to team meetings, to answer a motion, to help them answer an email, which they do all the time. Yeah. If they work 15 minutes, they're charging them the whole hour. So that's $500. Yes. You're sitting at a team meeting. Goody. Come. This meeting is going to be a long time. And if it's not a long time, I'm going to have another one because I'm not done. You want to come to meetings? Now I understand why my SPED director disappeared and passed me on to the assistant school superintendent. Good. And here's another thing. Okay, so if you guys are going to a hearing and you've been dealing with the school superintendent, good. Call as a witness. Let him know that you're going to call him as a witness, because what the school superintendent should be doing is sit down, shut up, and don't touch nothing, because now you're a witness. Do you know what the first thing they do when you say you're going to call the school superintendent as a witness? He doesn't have anything to do with this. He doesn't know anything about it. Blah, 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 blah. It's all a lie because we got emails. What emails? With his name all over explaining things. He's an explainer. He's the school superintendent that does this explaining. Really? Then you're a witness. I got you, stupid. Shut up is what they need to do. They need to tick a lock. They need to sit in a corner and shut their mouth. If you want to be at the team meeting, lawyers, tell you what you do. Come to the meeting, sit down and shut up and don't touch nothing, because if you come to the meeting, that means you're a member of the team. And you're coming all the time, because let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not waiving you from coming. So if you're not there, I'm going to file against the school district because you weren't at the team meeting and you're a member of the team. They told me you were. If you're a member of the team, you have to come every time there's a team. We're going to have a lot of team meetings. That's what we're going to do, because you're a member of the team. And if you're a member of the team and you come to all of the team meetings and you're running your mouth and you're advising your client, I'm going to call you as a witness. So you're going to say, oh, no, I'm the attorney. No, we're not doing none of that stupid, crazy shit. I once had a hearing officer to a school district tell me that I could not do an assessment and be the advocate at the same time, even though I have a master's degree in psychology with a specialization in ABA. She told me I couldn't do it. Really? Neither can you, stupid. You can't have things. Can we hold that with the SPED director and assistant school superintendent? Can we hold that? I don't know what that means, honey. What do you mean hold that? Can we hold that with the SPED director? Girl, you look gorgeous. Oh, hi. I don't know who you are, but thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. My hair is all gray now. I'm looking at pictures from when I did my earlier versions, and I'm like, wow, my hair was dark. I was dyeing it, of course, but that was its, I thought it was its natural color. Now all I have is this little bit right here. Look, that's it. That's it. And it looks really nice on the ends because it looks like, I took pieces of hair and just put it. See, I love it. Love my gray hair. I friggin' love it. Anyway, So yeah, so if both are not at team meetings, they were not there. Oh, okay. The meeting can't happen. No, the meeting can happen. You just tell them, excuse you, where are these people? And they're going to say, what are you talking about? They don't have to come. Oh, no. We're not playing that. You made them a member of the team. So as a member of the team, they don't get to flip-flop. I'm filing against you. You better, this meeting's over. Make those people come here. If they're not here, you have to tell me they're a parent. Either they're a member of the team or they're not. Which one? And now it's too late because you already have their names because they're stupid. Because the reason why they put their attorneys' names on the attendance record is to intimidate you. They have to tell you that they're coming, but they don't have to. If they put it on the attendance record, on the attendance sheet, you have a record that they were there. And it says team meeting participants. I don't understand. And this is what I'm telling you guys. Just what I'm telling you. Look at it for what it is. The law is designed so that one party doesn't get more stuff than the other party does. Everything is equal. Everything is equal. Okay? Why they gotta be stupid? Maybe they just mean. They're that too. They're all of that. They're mean, low down, dirty, rotten, shenanigan making, no good for nothing people. That's all it is. The people that are doing this, that's how they are. They get a charge out of it. They get a kick out of it. And unfortunately, especially nowadays, you can get a job anywhere now, especially if you have a bachelor's degree in anything or a master's degree in Massachusetts. Every single teacher in Massachusetts, within 2 years of working for a public school with a bachelor's degree, because you have to have a bachelor's degree in Massachusetts to even be a teacher, okay? But within 2 years, you have to have your master's. Do you know what you can do with a master's degree in education? In any field? I mean, they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't have to work for the public school. And especially now, everybody's hiring. So why are you there? Why are you there doing this to these kids when you can go get a job anywhere? Why? Why? We're not in a recession. There's plenty of jobs. I don't know where you guys live, but in this little one-horse town I live in, everywhere you look, there's now hiring. And where I live, it's $12 an hour, $15 an hour. And they're like 30, 40 hours a week. It's not chump change. And the state extended the emergency waiver until 2024. So this is going to cause regression. What? I don't know what you're talking about. The state extended the emergency waiver. What emergency waiver in what state? I mean, they want me to give up my own POA and guardianship of myself. I told you guys, when they start talking like they got custody of your kid, ask them for the custody papers. I do it all the time. I ask them for custody papers. I asked them for the W-2 form when I became, an employee of the school district. And when did I start? Because I'm thinking you owe me a lot of checks because I ain't got checked the first. So don't try to tell me what to do because I'm never going to listen to you. Number one, and I'm probably going to chew you out. There's a good bet that I'm going to chew you out for trying to boss me around. I got issues. There's a reason why I'm single. There's a reason why I work for myself. I don't play nice with others. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real. I don't play nice with others, especially people that want to hurt little kids. Yes, for all positions, Tammy. I'm in Mass. Oh, you're in Mass. Okay, all positions. Yes. You don't even need that much to be an administrator in Massachusetts. There's all kind of waivers you can get in the field. So you can make, I was offered in Marshfield, Mass. I was offered in 2000. I didn't get my degrees until recently, in the last couple of years. I got my bachelor's, and then right away I went back and I went 3 more years, I think, and 2.5 years, and I got my master's. Okay. In 2000, I was an advocate. Marshfield needed a SPED director. And I went to 2 meetings. I was working for a company called JRI. And when I went there, Tammy, this is Kelly. Do you not recognize me? Gene Kelly. I can't see you. I don't. It's not funny. If you're the Kelly I think it is, I'm going to punch you in the head. So anyway. Yeah. Kelly, why are you bothering me? Do you know what time it is? I'm tired, girl. Stop bothering me. Crazy. Now I was looking and I'm like, is that what I think it is? I thought it was you. Pain in my butt. You told me you were going to sleep, dummy. I'm telling Rod, you're acting brand new. Bite me. So anyway, the woman, I went to the team meeting, and the what is it? She was a school guidance. She was a school psychologist. And after the meeting went pretty well. I got the father to do what I wanted the father to do with the kid and everything. That was the second time. And so this town knew me. And so they pulled me over and they said, Tammy. I'm like, yeah. She said, there's a position open here for special ed director, and I think you'd be great for it. I said, you think I'd be great for this? I said, I do think so. And she said, why? I said, because anytime a kid came to me or a parent came to me and said, my kid needs yada, 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 everything's going to happen for the kid. We're going to get evaluations. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff this town doesn't want me doing. So you know what's going to happen? She said, what? What's going to happen is this. What's going to happen is this. I'm going to have to sue you people because you're going to get me in breach of contract. Because you're going to try to fire me. Then I got to sue you for breach of contract. I'm going to get all my money. You understand? So she said, are you sure? I said, I'm positive. So then I went back about a month later. So I go there and she approaches me again. And so I looked at her and I said, you know I don't have a degree, right? She said, what? You don't have a degree? You don't have a degree. I said, I don't have a degree. But you know what? Not for nothing. Had I known what I know right now, I would have immediately signed up to school and I would have got a waiver from the state. You know what? I would have been the sped director in Marshfield with no degree. All I had to do was sign up for school and I could have got the job. You know how much the job was? $175,000 a year. That was in 2000. Yeah. So I don't want to hear anything about feeling bad for these people that work for the school district that hurt these kids the way they hurt ours. And I'm going to feel bad for you. You need to quit. You need to quit and go work in another field because I have no respect for anybody that's going to allow their boss to do what these people are doing to these kids. And I don't want to hear, well, we need people on the inside and blah, 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 blah. Then do something. Take on those people. Take them on. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose your job? So what? You're going to lose your job. Big whoop. Lose it. At least you go out with integrity and you have character and you can go get a better job making way more money. Way more money. Way. You understand? Yes, for all position, Tammy. You know I'm in mass. Shut up. You would be the best sped director. I know. I know I would be the best sped director. My kids wouldn't go without. And people who tried to do something to my kids would be fired immediately. Worst case scenario, or all of their butts would be in training. Every other day, there'd be somebody in that school district who would be talking about the Department of DDS services and the application process. There would be people in there talking about how to do the transition, everything. There's no reason for the stuff they do. There's just none. They're just no good. And I can't stand it that they don't have a backbone. It's so disgusting. It really is disgusting. And the only thing we can do is laugh. I mean, I have been laughing all day because these people, the parents are calling me up and telling me shit. And I'm laughing my ass. I'm like, do you understand what this means? And we're cracking up. They don't understand. We laugh at them all day long because if we don't laugh, we cry. And what I do is I make fun of them all the time. I have to make fun of them. You want me to believe you have a brain in your head and you did this? I mean, I can't even tell you. Let's stop pretending that the superintendent isn't pulling the strings and then hiding. Oh, God, yes. But see, you can't get the school superintendent unless the school superintendent is doing what some of them are doing, in some of my cases, which is answering the parent. Hello, God. Send him some more stuff. See if he answers again. Keep drawing him in. Good. And then we're going to have an open hearing. So I'm going to show everybody just how stupid they are. Yes, I like it. I keep saying I'm not going to do this. And then somebody calls me. And I'm going to punch you guys for calling me. I can't. I'm so busy. But yes. So, you guys have to understand you have way more rights than you think. Do not use FERPA. Ever. Don't use FERPA. Idea. You go to subpart F here. You go here. Call me. And I'll tell you where to go. Okay? It's under the 600s. I got to put that on my piece of paper because I'm going to forget. 34 CFR 300.610 Dale. Confidentiality information. Confidentiality info. Okay, I'm going to put links to these things because this one part right here regarding the records and access to the records and the list of types and the fees. Forgot to do the fees. Okay, because you guys are always saying the school said I have to pay. Okay. Look, fees. Here it is right here, guys. I don't lie. Each participating agency may charge a fee for copies of records that are made for parents under this part if the fee does not effectively prevent the parent from exercising their right to inspect and review those records. Okay? So if charging a fee is too much, so that means you don't get the records, they can't do that. So you can't pay the fee, so you don't get the records. That they can't do that. B is a participating agency may not charge a fee to search for or retrieve information under this part. So they can't charge you for the labor. For all intents and purposes, that's what that means. They can't charge you for the labor. To copy and go get the things and give them to you, put them in a nice little box, they can't charge you. Okay? That's what the fees are. See why I love IDEA, and the only thing I want to do is IDEA? This is why. This is why I'm an IDEA kind of girl. I don't care nothing about state regs. Nowhere in any state. Every once in a itty bitty while, I have to use a state reg. I have to use it. Okay, here's another one you guys might be interested in. You can amend your kids' records. So there's records in there you can have to pull out. You can take them out. So a parent who believes that information in the education records collected, maintained, or used under this part is inaccurate or misleading or violates the privacy or other rights of the child may request a participating agency that maintains the information to amend the information. Okay. One time I was representing a parent and I pulled the kids' records. I get the records, and inside the records is a enforcement order against the father. They had split up. There was a big mess. There's all kind of stuff going on with this kid. And so I called up the mother. I said, you know, everybody can see this, right? She's like, what are you talking about? And I told her what it was. She said, oh my God. She said, that's still in there. I said, yes, you got to send them an email and tell them you want that taken out immediately. Marcy, I had a psychiatrist retire 2 weeks ago after my IEP meeting in the middle of in middle school. I called DESE, the state, you name it. I called it. I would love to shove my daughter diploma up his. I love you. You're a wonderful girl. You're a wonderful girl. Sweet. So due to me being on a fixed income, they have to make it a reasonable price. No, honey. They can't charge you. You don't have any money. They can't charge you shit. They're charging you. There shouldn't be any information in your kid's file about you. What is it about you? They can't charge you. If you are low income, okay? If your kid gets reduced lunch or free lunch, they can't charge you. Because if you're getting that, that means you can't afford. What it means is you can't afford to pay for the records. And if you can't afford to pay for the records because you're low income, then that means because you can't pay, you can't have the records. That's a violation of your rights. Okay, it's like one school told me, what did they tell me? They said, I can't file in federal court in an appeal. I said, have you lost your damn mind? We live in America. Just because I'm poor doesn't mean I don't have access. So then I had to send her the law because she's stupid. It's 514, I believe. I just send them numbnut. This is why I don't care what they say. Clearly, there was something I need a qualified. Shut up. Shut up, Diane. I'll punch you. That's an inside joke. I'm going to punch you. I am a qualified professional. Thank you very much. Okay. So, yeah, you can actually ask them to request, to amend, to take stuff out of your kids' records. That's what it means, amend. Take it out. Okay. The agency must decide whether to amend the information in accordance with the request within a reasonable timeline of receipt of the request. If the agency decides to refuse to amend the information in accordance with the request, it must inform the parent of the refusal and advise the parent of the right to a hearing. You see, they don't get to just say no. I know they think it's all about them. I know they think, and they want you to believe they got all kind of power and authority. They don't. Neither does the state. Okay. There's some stuff that's going to be coming out just in a few. And I'm going to show you just how much the state and the school districts don't have, and I proved it. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I proved it. They shouldn't charge anything. They can't. If you are, they should, and they usually don't. They usually don't. But if they know you have money, they will. They're no good. Okay. Now, if your kid is between the age of 18 and 22, they can't. And if your kid, because your kid between the age of 18 and 22, your kid's low income. So you can just get the records. And if your kid asks for them, you can get the records. There's nothing they can do. Tell them you want to come sit and read every page. Is right there. And then you hand them each page one at a time. That's what I want. And you take a picture with your camera. That's the other thing. We got cameras now. We don't even need them. Take a picture. The iPhones now are amazing. They will copy and mail the file quickly. Absolutely, Marcy. That's exactly what they'll do. Because you're stupid. It's all a game to them. So let's play a game then. And then they get mad because I've actually said I'm sick and tired of playing this game. This isn't a game. The hell it's not. Are you kidding me? This is not a game. Have you people lost your damn minds? Crazy ass. Okay, so there's the opportunity for the hearing. Wait, I'm going to show it to you. So here's the opportunity for hearing, which they just talked about. The result of the hearing procedures, consent. This is another one. People, if these ding-dongs don't work for the school, they need consent to give your kids records. Anything in your kids' records, anything with personally identifiable information, they have to give it to your kid. They have to get consent, rather. You understand? They have to give it. This is what it says. Consent. Consent is listed like over 500 times in IDEA and all kind of laws, all kind of everything. 500 times. That's why consent is so important. It's so important in the idea that they have to get consent from you before they do anything with your kid. Okay? So it says right here. Parent consent must be obtained before personally identifiable information is disclosed to parties other than officials of participating agencies in accordance with paragraph B1 of this section, unless the information is contained in education records and the disclosure is authorized without parental consent. They can't. They need your consent. Other participating agencies, they need your consent. Parental consent is not required before personally identified is released to officials of participating agencies for purposes of meeting a requirement of this part. Participating agencies. I have to see what is it? Parental consent, eligible students reach the age of majority. Understand? And must be at least participating agencies providing for or paying for transition. Okay, that's like DDS, DMH, DPH, those people. And yes, they do have, because while this is saying you don't need it, the states, those state agencies say you do. Okay. Private schools. If your kid's in a private school, yes, you do, because if a child is enrolled or is going to be enrolled in private school is not located in the LEA and the parent's residence, parental consent must be obtained before any, see what I'm saying? Parental consent or consent of eligible child who's reached the age of majority. You always need consent. You always need consent. You need to give them consent. They always need to obtain it. They don't have consent before they release your personally identifiable information to some ding-dong, they're screwed, like an evaluator, okay? Unless the evaluator works for the school district, they can't give your kid's stuff to some outside agency without your consent and under the professional guidelines of that particular person's license or certification. They can't have it. During one of my hearings in New York, this woman was testifying, and she's an OT or PT. And she was testifying about how she saw the kids' records and blah, 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 stuff under her mouth. And I didn't know this before she started testifying. I didn't know this. And I said, wait a minute. I said, you looked at this kid's records? Yes. Okay. So under your regulations, do you need consent before you look at people's records? She said yes. I said, oh, okay. Did you have the mother's consent to look at this kid's record? She said no. I said, oh, okay. So let's move on to the next question. Do you know what I was doing? I'm filing against this crazy woman as soon as we get done, right? But before I could do that, she quit. She knew I was coming. She quit. Yep. New York. That's what they do. So yes, destruction of records of information. They must inform you that they are about to destroy personally identifiable information. Under this part is no longer needed to provide because collected information or used under this part is no longer needed to provide educational services to the child. Public agency must inform parents when personally identifiable information collected, maintained, or used under this part is no longer needed. The only time it's no longer needed because your kid aged out and can go. And they got 7 years. So I don't know why that's not in here. The information must be destroyed at the request of the parents. That's another thing. Soon as your kid leaves school, skip your happy butts up to the school and get all of your kids' records. Get every last dime. They don't have to make copies because if they make copies, it's a violation. You go as soon as your kid is done with that school and your kid is out, period. Go get every last drop of a record there. At your request, they can get, or you can tell them to destroy them. Don't destroy your kids' records. Go get them. Because even though your kid is out of school, 2 years, you have up to 2 years that you could file against them. Once your kid leaves school, you still have 2 years. 2 years. Yeah. However, a permanent record of the student's name, address, and telephone number, his or her grades, attendance records, classes, grade levels, and year completed may be obtained without time limitation. So you can get that anytime you want. Okay? So this is what I wanted to tell you guys all about this. So all you have to do is, and then here's enforcement. What's this? SEAs must have in effect the policies and procedures, including sanctions that the state uses to ensure that its policies and procedures are consistent with all of that. Okay? And the state does. Massachusetts does. All the states have laws that enforce all of the laws we just looked at. There are consequences if they don't. Okay? And you can file against them. Department use of personal, what is this? If the department or its authorized representative collect any personal identifier regarding children with disability that is not under the Privacy Act, I think this is a department, OSAP, that they're referring to with this stuff. I think it's got to be. It's not the State Department because they call state departments of education SEAs and the school districts LEAs. So the department is, I believe, the U.S. Department of Education, or it could be OSAP. I don't know. It's one of them. because they collect data too on kids because it came from the states. Okay, I don't think they use personally identifiable information when they do the collection of data at the end of every year to tell the feds how many kids are on IEPs, how many kids have disabilities, what disabilities they have, all of that stuff that goes to the feds in one report, one consolidated report from all of the school districts. It comes in one report, and then the state sends it to the feds. And that's how they determine how much money is going to be allocated for the IDEA grant to implement all of these laws. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the whole shooting match, okay? Now, like I said, this is real easy. All you have to do is take my letter, tweak it out. The list of records, these right here, just, oh, I'm sorry. Right. In blue, this right here, any you can just add to the list. Whatever record you can think of that they might have on your kid, you can ask for it. They have to come back. These records right here, if your kid's on an IEP or your kid is in public school, some of these records exist for all of the kids. Report cards exist. If your kid doesn't have to be on an IEP to have discipline records or what is it? Report cards, attendance records. That's not, you don't have to be on an IEP to have attendance records. Emails to and from teachers and the parent. Yeah, no. What you are going to have is if you're doing this, it's because they've already evaluated your kid. Typical parents of typical kids don't do this. They don't do it. Only we have to do it. Okay. We have to do it because that's where all the good shit is. That's where everything is about your kid between the school and over the years, what happened and all of that. Okay. That's where it is. It's like this stuff right here is like the footnotes and a motion to a hearing officer. The footnotes is where the juicy stuff is all the time. Okay. So I hope this answers your questions. I still think I'm going to do a 30-minute video on what we just did today. Just because it'll be easier for you guys to look at and stuff. And I'm going to leave some in the video. I'll probably, because it's already done, so now I can cut and paste and do a whole bunch of stuff to this video. And I got a lot of material because I did it all. So I'm going to make another little video that's going to be 30 minutes, and it's going to have all of this, and I'm going to tell you where to go and get the letters and all of that stuff. Okay. And I'll show you where the laws are. And as a matter of fact, you know what I could do? I could, like this, you can make the cool thing about the way they do the laws. See that right there? Oh, no, you don't see it because I'm dumb. Okay. This is the new site for OSEP's laws. You know what's really cool is that you can hit print. And then when you click on print this content, it'll come up like this. Look, it's all of the laws. So now you have a list of all of the numbers that you need and what they are. And so now you do this. So let's say you were looking for one of the laws, but you had that list. So you look at the list and you go 34 CFR 300.613. Then you get it. And then it tells you the particulars of that. But you got to go to this website. So I'm going to put the link to this website. Okay. I'm going to give you guys there it is, print the PDF. So I can generate a PDF file when I actually go to a particular regulation. Okay. But I can print the other one. So it gives you all the list. And that's what you guys need. You need the whole list of, where is it? This is better for you guys because it tells you where all of those things that for the records, this is under IDEA. This is where all of the records are regarding getting access to your kids' records, getting copies. These are all the regulations. Okay. When the school makes something stupid, you say list of types and locations. So when you go and you type 616.300.31 up at the top, this is what you'll get. Okay. You put it in here and then you get this. And then you can copy and paste this and send it to the Wombats. Okay. That's how you do it. But I'm gonna clean it up for you so that I can take out a lot of the stuff I already said and it didn't have anything to do with this because I like to go left. But it'll be really concise. It'll be short. I'm trying to get it down 30 minutes and then I'll have all the other good stuff in it. Okay. And as soon as I post it, I'm gonna let you guys know. Hopefully I can cut it up and do all the editing within the next couple of days. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for coming. Thank you. It was a big mess tonight, and I don't know why. I screwed it up some kind of way. So anyway, I will let you guys know as soon as that goes up. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please please put a comment in the bottom if you have any questions. I don't care if you just say, Tammy, good job. Tammy, I hate your guts. I don't care what you put in there, as long as you make a comment, because what this does is it helps me with the algorithms and all of that nonsense so that I can get paid to do this so that I can help you guys even more. My goal is to have you guys, to provide you guys with special small groups of workshops that just a few of you want to come to on specific areas. It could be just on your stuff there'll be specific invites to these things. I can do all of that, but it takes a lot of time and it does take, thank you, Tammy. Oh, Ben, I didn't know you were here. It takes a lot. So if you guys subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell when it pops up, you'll always be notified of what I'm doing. And just put a comment in there and that's all I need you guys to do. It's free. Just free. And then that helps me. And then that helps me help you. If you like this, just hit that. Just do all of that for me, please. Every time I do one, it goes up like 1 or 2 more. And I'm good with that. As long as it increases. If it's 1 at a time, that's fine. That's how I do my advocacy anyway. 1 kid at a time. You got to do what you got to do. I want to thank you guys all for coming. Have a great night. I'll see you next week if I don't get that video out again. Because this is what I'm doing now. Love you. Stay safe. Keep warm and keep it real. Bye.